Have you been feeling it lately? This chaotic, crazy intensity that's happening. It's very hard to be calm, it's very hard to feel safe, and lots of really weird things happening. I'd love to know if this has been what you've been feeling as well. A lot of my clients have been sharing this. I had a call with all the beautiful women in my Rooted community membership last night, and they're also feeling it. So I'll just share my personal story. It's been very interesting. So from literally not about 10 days ago, Friday, tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks, we were supposed to go camping. Well, we had booked to go camping and we had managed to organize someone to come and look after our pets. We woke up in the morning and we noticed there was blood in my dog's urine. So rushed her to the vet. She had a urinary tract infection. Fortunately, we could just get some antibiotics to treat that. So that was all right. We weren't going to have to cancel the trip. Then when the lovely woman arrived who was meant to be looking after our house, she experienced what we suspect was a TIA, like a mini stroke. So she couldn't move the left half of her body. So I put her back in the car. I said, there's no ways, because then she was fine after about a minute. She said, no, I can stay. I said, there's no ways. There's no ways you're looking after my home all on your own if you have another something episode happening. So I took her to the clinic, waited with her there a little while, managed to get that sorted out. Well, managed to get her seen to. And then had how I organized another house sitter at the drop of a hat, I don't know. It was backwards and forwards. Eventually I found someone and spoke to someone else who helped me to organize to get her to come to the house earlier so we could leave, because I needed her to actually meet the dog. She couldn't just arrive. So finally we got to go camping. Camping was amazing. On the way back, our car was breaking down. It was just not doing what it was meant to be doing. We limped home. Thank goodness got home. That was my day. Tuesday, my daughter broke her collarbone. We went to ER in a town that's an hour away, and took about 2.5 hours to go get x-rays and diagnosis and whatnot. Got back home at 1:30 in the morning. We'd had to borrow a car to do that because our car was our one car is a bucky it's a single cab. I don't know what you call that in other countries. It's like a van. It's not an SUV. And driving over the bumpy roads in this car, which is ancient, was killing my daughter's collarbone. Anyway, we managed to get another car. The next day, I discovered there was a leak in our water tank. And that evening when my daughter's collarbone was broken, I had been sitting with my sister-in-law in her car, and he came out, the instructor of the MMA class she was in, came out to say something had happened. And then my sister-in-law's car wouldn't start because the battery was flat, and then I wasn't able to help her because I really needed to get my daughter to the hospital. Wednesday, we woke up, there was no power, and because there was no power, there was no water. That was most of the day. Thursday, I think Thursday was okay. No, Thursday our other car broke down. And then we managed to fix the other car, and then that other car broke down again. It's just, I'm sure there's more stuff, but I can't remember right now. There's just been so much going on. And I know that I'm not the only one who's having these weird, crazy things happening to them. And it's been a really useful experience for me because I've had to really practice what I preach around keeping my nervous system healthy and healed. So if you haven't met me, firstly, I'm a holistic psychologist, I'm a vitality coach. I support women to overcome chronic fatigue and burnout so that they can make the impact in the world with far more vitality, joy, and ease. And a lot of these women, most of them, all of them, have dysregulated nervous systems. They are very sensitive, which actually is a massive gift. There's a huge amount of empathy. They're in touch with other people's emotions and energy and all of those things. They don't know it most of the time. They just know that they're chronically exhausted and overwhelmed. And a huge part of this is nervous system regulation. There's a lot more to it. there's past trauma, there's past childhood experiences impacting personality impacting how we live and do our lives in a way that is exhausting. But nervous system regulation feeds into all of that. Okay, so healing the nervous system is vital for overcoming chronic fatigue and burnout. So I've had to really do a deep dive for myself because my nervous system has been dysregulated for most of my life. So all of this stuff is going on. How do we cope in these intense times when we already have a dysregulated nervous system and now all this other stuff is happening in the world, politically, economically, just socially? There's just so much going on. So I wanted to share with you the practices that support me. There's a whole lot of nervous system practices that I share within my Rooted membership. I'm not going to go into detail around those, but I'm going to talk about two things today. One is how to pattern interrupt and stay in the present and modulate your nervous system around safety. And the other one is reframes. Okay, so pattern interruption. Most of the time our nervous systems are dysregulated, which means we are very easily in fight, flight, or freeze, which can also be a fawning response, which is where we people please chronically. We go into those states very easily, often because we are not present. We are either future focused or we are being impacted by a past trauma experience or a pattern in our body that has been activated. So future focused means that we are worrying about what's going to happen in the future. Stress response that results in an activation. Or the present moment has somehow activated a past experience, and then we feel as if that is happening again in the present moment. The truth of the fact is the present moment is neutral. So I'm going to come back to this around reframes. But we feel powerless, overwhelmed, afraid, all of those things, which are actually mostly childhood experiences that have been triggered because something about this present moment was similar to something that happened in the past. Often it will be around themes of possible rejection, themes of feeling unsupported, themes of feeling out of control. Similar, those sort of things. So what happens is once a past trauma has been activated or a future worry has been activated, or once those things kick in, our nervous systems become activated. And when our nervous systems become activated, there's a whole lot that happens physically. Cell danger response, limbic brain response that results in the body not being able to function in an optimum way for healing and for production of energy. I'm not going to go into all of this. This is quite complex, but just to say, you can't heal when you are chronically hyper-aroused or hypo-aroused, and most people with chronic fatigue are. And the best way to deal with that is to consistently bring yourself back into feeling safety in this moment right now. Because if you can bring your nervous system into safety here, you're going to prevent, it's called nervous system modulation. You are preventing yourself from consistently spiking up or down, and to more easily kind of, we go into some arousal at times. We're going to go into some shutdown at sometimes. But what we want to do is more of this pattern, not this pattern. And usually with this, we're staying more here and down here, and we're not coming nicely back into that place where our healing happens. So to bring ourselves back into safety in this moment, consistently and regularly, we teach the nervous system what that feels like, and it becomes more of a default so that we can more consistently and automatically come back into that state. What does this mean? This means we need to interrupt those patterns of forward and past. We need to recognize that we have been activated. This is a huge part of my coaching, is to understand through your behaviors and through your body sensations that you have been activated. Again, I can't go into this now, but for some of you, you may recognize it through an incessant doing, through a need to control everything, through feeling wired, through a shutdown state of lack of motivation, feeling frozen, feeling stuck. These are all aspects of activation. So when you notice that you've gone into that place, you have either something is worrying you about the future or a past pattern has been triggered, you need to pattern interrupt and bring yourself back into the here and now. So the best way to do that is to notice it and acknowledge it firstly. So, oh gosh, I've been triggered. Then that part of you that is causing you to have that response, it's doing it because it's trying to protect you, ironically. So I call it out, because if I call it out, then I'm no longer identified with it, and I can disconnect from being caught in that pattern. I can interrupt the pattern. So I will say to that part of me, thank you for trying to protect me, but you are not helping me right now. Please, you can leave. So I imagine giving that part some distance. We want that part to still be around because we need a protective part. We just don't want it there all the time. So mine goes and hangs out in like a lounger with a cocktail for a while. That's just the image that I have. And I imagine creating distance between myself and that part so that I've interrupted that pattern. And then I bring myself back into the here and the now, into the present, through focusing on my 5 senses. What can I see, smell, hear, touch, and taste in this moment? I also might look at something in my surroundings and really see it for the first time properly, as opposed to it's there but I don't really notice it. There are many ways of bringing yourself back into the present. You can also focus on your breath, but these are some ways to then bring yourself back into the present. And then the next step is to find the safety in the present. So automatically, by bringing yourself back into the present, you are seeing, actually, right now, I am safe. Look, you might be uncomfortable, you might have some fear, but you are safe. You are not dying. Because most of the time when our activation happens, it's completely disproportionate to what's actually happening in that moment. So what we're wanting to do is find the safety, which I will then go so my little mantra, in this moment, I am okay. In this moment, I am safe. And I look for what is safe. I look for what is working. Right now, I have a roof over my head. I have food in my fridge. Right now, I have people who care about me. Right now, there's an abundance of air for me to breathe. There's always something that is working and that is good and that is okay. So it's about making an effort to see that, and to also to have gratitude for it, because the gratitude practice is very healing as well. It's all got to do with heart coherence, and that supports the nervous system too. All right, so that is pattern interruption. The more consistently you can do that, the more easily it teaches your nervous system to come back into that place of, in this moment, I am safe. The more it helps you to stay in the present and not freak out because of forward-thinking worries or past traumas that have been brought up. Obviously, it's very beneficial to also deal with and heal past traumas as well. That's another aspect of the healing. That's the one, pattern interruption, and the other one is reframing. So with everything that's been going on for me, my automatic pattern for response, because it's been a really tricky couple of years, as many of you can relate to, I'm sure, in your own lives, is my little victim. My little victim part goes, why is this happening? Like, why do bad things always happen to me? What have I done wrong? Why? This isn't fair. And then from an energetic perspective, I'm like, well, did I attract it? Is there something wrong with my energy? Did I attract this? And so what I did was I brought in my reframe of everything is just neutral. Everything that happens, my daughter breaking her collarbone, our car's breaking down, that is neutral. Those events don't mean a thing. They are purely neutral. I put meaning on them. I put meaning on whether they're good or bad. And I also don't yet know in the bigger picture why those things had to happen. Because what I have definitely learned in my life is that very often the things that feel like they are terrible have gifts in them as well, including your chronic fatigue and burnout, by the way. So it's about not judging and reframing it as, well, it's just an event. It doesn't mean that I've done something wrong. I'm not going to future think and go, oh my gosh, does this mean I'm going to carry on in this pattern of things going wrong? Because I also did a bit of that, catastrophizing. It is reframing. It's just a neutral event. Right now, in this moment, I am safe. Right now, everything is okay. And it's not easy. It's not great. Like, yeah, of course I'd like it to be a different way, but it is what it is. and I'm safe, and everyone's safe. And that helps to prevent the spinning and the nervous system activation, and that also helps to bring you back into right now in this moment. I hope these have been helpful for you. Please let me know if you have any questions, and also try them out and let me know. Give me some feedback about whether they are useful for you or not. Okay, take care everyone. Bye.